late. So I thought, I'll give people a little bit more time, see if Patrick will be able to make it today. And I think he will. We did talk last night. The night before. Yeah. So, okay. So how are you doing, sir? How's everything with you?
Good. Busy days.
It's busy days, Monday
Huh.
fun day. Okay, cool. Um, I am just uh just kind of firing everything up here. So here's our standard AI entity intelligence. Let me sit here. And I don't know if you caught up with the discussion that we had the other day. We had like a
The
quick
processing
session.
service. Yeah, the processing service.
Yeah, for SQL, the
Yeah,
SQL
I saw
injection.
most of it. Yeah, I saw most of it.
It was wild. We still have a lot of stuff to do, but the one thing that I really liked about that session is, there is actually a library out there. It's a pretty beautiful library that basically allows you to generate random expressions based on a regular expression. So if you have a regular expression and that regular expression is what you want, it will continue to generate valid values based on that particular expression. I think it's pretty cool.
That's
Okay,
for the select statements, right? Or the
yeah, that's for the select statements. It's still a problem to solve. We're not 100% sure how this is going to end up, but that's for Milan to kind of go figure out and see what the path forward may be. Okay, so going back to our issue here, let me just go back here to Visual Studio.
we have a small thing that you said if I can like a small change to the latest unit test we did.
Hmm,
This one to generate random number of random nulls. Uh,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. So let me go back to this is the SQL processing. Right? And then let me kind of pull latest from this. That's true. We have to randomize. We also have to randomize the locations of things. You still can hear me, right?
Yes. And the locations. Yeah, I got like a small trick. Let's run it by you and see.
Okay. So do you have that pushed already for
I haven't.
the?
No, I didn't push it yet. I can show it and then I push it
Yeah,
like after the
yeah.
session.
By all means, go for it.
Mhm. So the interesting thing, like if we have, let's say, 10 items in the list,
Uh-huh.
and let me make my screen a little bit bigger here.
Let's do it.
So if we have 10 items,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say we want a random number of nulls in them,
Mm-hmm.
we can't have duplicate like that. Random numbers can generate 1 2 2, right?
One
uh,
to two. Mm-hmm.
like no, like 1 2 and 2, so we can't have duplicates.
Yeah, that's right.
uh, right, like we can, but the way we have it is like when we store the key in the dictionary of data, the exception, it will just throw an exception
Okay.
because it's the same key.
Because it's the
So
same
what,
key. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so what I did, which is something I learned actually, is a little trick.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our exception.
Mm-hmm.
I create a random invalid item count using our
That's right.
randomizer, which
Yep.
will be between 1 and the whole table count or
That's
the
right.
list, right?
That's right.
Then I generate uh, a range between 0 and the table information count,
Mm-hmm.
and this trick shuffles the range. I didn't know this actually. So if you order by a random number, like in case a random number you are sure that won't be, it will be unique,
Uh-huh.
it will shuffle this, and then you can take this number, right?
That's weird. Why does it do that? So if you basically go and say order by some
Sorry,
random GUID, it'll just
shuffle the
shuffle.
list. It's interesting, right? Interesting observation, and a lot of people use it. It's the problem with this for production systems. If you are using this in your business logic for millions of records, you will have an n log n, or worst case O of n square
Oh
time,
yeah, the asymptotic
right?
time. Yeah, execution time.
Exactly. But like for our case, we generate like up to 10, 20 number like count. It doesn't matter. But for millions of records, it gives like a difference.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So if you do it this way, it'll basically shuffle them.
It will
Okay?
shuffle between 0 and this. And
Hmm.
these are the unique random numbers that we need to nullify, basically. So I go through the invalid table informations we have, and if the index is one of these random
Hmm.
indices that we generated, I nullify it and add the exception here, right? Otherwise,
Yeah,
I just leave it as is. I tested that multiple times. It shows kind of
it works.
it works. Yeah.
I think that's okay. It's just the only thing that I don't think people will understand the order by good new good. Like it won't kind of hit people immediately what that means. I think it's a great solution. I just don't know about the intuitiveness of the x good equal or x equal good new good. Um,
Like if we think about it, normally when you say order by like student name, right?
mhm,
Here. But when something is random, like name is already existing in the list,
uh-huh.
that's why it's able to order by it. But if we are ordering by something random, it will we will confuse the order by every time we generate a GUID, basically.
Let
That's
me
what we are doing.
I want to try this. Let me take your screen for a second. This is
Yeah,
wild. So if I go and say let's see here. So if I go to C sharp, I'll take your screen here. So okay, so let's just say names equal new list of strings. There is Omar, there is Kailu, and there is Gregory, right? So these are three people. If I say give me names, it'll just print those in that particular order. The crazy guy from Go programming language would give you these shuffled because he would say you didn't mandate order. So when you retrieve that list, I'll give them to you shuffled because he's crazy. But anyway, the what I'm trying to say here is that so you're saying if I say order by name to GUID.new GUID like this, oh my God, that is wild. How do you even like rationalize that? That's just Omar Kailu Grigory. Kailu Omar Grigory. You're not kidding. It keeps kind of iterating. Hmm. It would be nice if they just offered a proper API that shuffles things. I'm pretty sure there's 20,000 libraries out there that basically shuffles shuffles a list. What do people recommend online? They basically say, let's see here. If this is the only way to do it, we'll go with it. I just want to make sure. Fisher Yates shuffle. Yikes. Oh boy. Um, yeah, see, as soon as someone start doing things like these, this is where I start saying, why is this not in a library? There you go. There's your good guy.
exactly.
And then let's make it even worse. So it's like, oh, put randomizer in there.
This is bad actually because here, unless we get a double value for the randomizer,
Uh-huh.
you will get the same integer again. So you are not actually 100% sure they will shuffle properly.
Uh-huh. And it's just the intuitiveness of the code. Like someone won't figure out intuitively that a GUID, new GUID meaning shuffle things. It doesn't give that impression. But I'll tell you about some ideas that I have. What does Bard have to say? How do I shuffle a list in C sharp?
It will use the Stack Overflow plugin now and get you the same answer
It'll
most
probably
of the
just
time.
give you, yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it. So, so it's basically saying random shuffle. What is random shuffle? That's not a thing. Using random shuffle method. This method takes a list. No, are you serious? I didn't know about that. Hold on. If that's the case, then we got our bid made. Let's find out. So random, I know it's making this up. I don't think there's anything like that.
Maybe it
Look,
means on the object, not on the class. Yeah.
nope, it's making this stuff up. It, AI hallucinates. That's what we're trying to tell people. Like AI will go and make stuff up that doesn't exist. Hold on, I'll even put it on spot until it. So it's basically using random dot shuffle method. This method takes a list. Using order by. There's the one that you were talking about just right now. I don't know why it keeps saying random dot next. This is not how that API works at all. And then yeah, it's stealing some stuff. Where did you get random dot shuffle lists from? He could,
Random search.
yeah, but Bard could also be stealing things like random shuffle list method from system.random. Oh my God. So let me go to let me go to the URL. Where is shuffle? Must shuffle.
I think it confused an example and it made the logic out of it or something.
Okay, so fun. I guess every .NET developer ever out there, they just, did that and they said that's the solution. It's crazy how the convention of AI is just wild, right? It's just like, um, oh, this is totally an API that does exist out there. You just don't know about it. Okay, fine. I'll go to an extreme extent and say source.net. Source.net is where you can basically quickly search the APIs. This this is it's open source, so we can search it. Do you see anything in here called shuffle? Oh, you're not kidding. Wait a second. Look at this. There's a thing called shuffle right here.
And why don't we see it?
So why don't we see this thing? Oh, AI is right, actually. Oh, maybe. I don't know. So there's actually a bunch of these. Shuffle, span, and then shuffle an array of values. So why don't we see that in, this is under system partial class random, and hang on a second.
Is this .NET Core or .NET Framework? Like which one you're showing?
This should be .NET Core. This should be .NET Core. License under the .NET Foundation. System private .core lib. This should be .NET Core for sure. But I could be wrong. So if I say system random, and then under random there is a method that says shuffle. It even has validations and everything. Well, thank God they tried that one. So why can't we access that one? That's weird. Let's just go back into here. Um, I don't know, names dot to array. What's it say here? It says random does not contain a definition of shuffle. What's that all about? So the source code is actually saying, yeah, we do support that, right? There's a thing called shuffle, but I'd love to see. Also, by the way, argument null exception throw if null. This is a new thing that came with .NET Core. So I'm not sure. Is this fine? Okay, let's do that. So Random dot shuffle.
I found why. It's .NET 8.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is that a new
it's up.
thing?
It says applies to .NET 8 only here.
Okay, let's download .NET 8 then. Download .NET 8 because we usually stay up to date. I think it's been in multiple preview. Usually we keep up to date with that, so I think that's okay. Okay, thank you, Omar. So it is a real. It's crazy also how up to date this thing is. So okay, let me install that. Let me install .NET 8 and let's upgrade our platform. It'll just take literally a second to kind of bring everything up to speed. So this x64, just give me a second here. Let me install .NET 8. Kylo install .NET 8 on your machine. Huh? So this is .NET 8 right here. That would be much, much better than um, they probably under the hood, Omar, probably they're doing the we'll look at the source code and see what they're doing. They're probably doing that same thing, by the way. But okay, while this thing is installing, I could go back to the page here, go to the source code, and then they have a method called shuffle. Oh no, they're doing a classic get the length next, and next does. Okay, great. They have a whole thing going on in there. Assert and range. I love it when the source code has debug assert in it. It's wonderful. Like high quality stuff right there. I'll tell you a story offline later, Omar, about this. But okay, so let me just go back to this and let me upgrade the world. So if I go into, let me just confirm first that we have the stuff. So if I do .NET, let me show you just for people to kind of .NET dash dash list SDKs. That'll tell you all the versions that you have. And now that I have 8, I can go over there like a normal person and go to edit and just say .NET 8 like that. And let's just see if it can handle .NET Core app. I don't know. Is it gonna like it if I unload and reload? Reload project. It's not happy with it. Something is getting in its way. Oh, it's the standard AI, OpenAI. It doesn't like our OpenAI library. Is that what it is? Let me just build this thing and see what happens. Let me also upgrade. We're gonna need to. So let me unload the build and let me unload acceptance and unload integrations. For now, I just want the unit tests project. I think there's a new verbiage for it if I'm not mistaken, but let's just see. It says .NET 8 right here. And then if I rebuild all of this, does it just blow up? It's not happy. Yeah, the current .NET does not support .NET 8, either target .NET 7 or lower. Okay, so let me see. Upgrading to .NET 8. What would the what's the verbiage for the project? Because obviously I'm pretty sure we can do some. Oh, does that mean I need to also upgrade Visual Studio to support that? Yeah, probably. So let me upgrade Visual Studio as well. You're gonna need to upgrade your Visual Studio as well, gentlemen. That's what it is. Okay, I'm waiting for it to kick off. Omar, did you have any success? Let's see.
I'm just upgrading Visual Studio now, so
Yeah, I think
yeah, so it will
yeah,
take
I
some
think
time.
I think we're gonna have to do that in order for it to come up to speed. It wouldn't know how to support it otherwise. So here's an update. Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, ideally with these projects, because they're still in development, we get to actually go and say, yeah, let's use the latest and greatest. Why not? Right? And we probably should upgrade. Should I upgrade the OpenAI project? I don't have to. I think it's okay. And I think .NET 8 is going to be like long-term support kind of version, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a cool thing. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's do that. I promise you, my computer is really fast enough to kind of do this. We shouldn't have to sit down and wait for this, but I mean, if this capability is something that's available, why don't we take advantage of it? I think that's the gist of it. So while this is installing, let's test it, right? Let's go over here and let's just see if I can do .NET Online. I think it's yeah, cool. And then do they have, yeah, they have .NET 8 right here. So let's just test this and see if it actually works. So if I have a var list, say names, right? And names as a new list of strings. This is Omar, you, and Greg, like that. And this guy should error out because I think we need to have system.collections, generic, something like that. And then I want to go and say new random dot shuffle. Yeah, it's right here, my friend. And then here is names. Okay, so I'm passing the names to this. Why is this guy tripping? Requires one type argument, like string. Okay. And then here, what's the problem? It says I want system span. No, do we have to convert to an array? Is that how? Oh, that's really dumb. We can't just pass an enumerable or anything like that. Gregory says OpenAI is now on the standard version 2.10, so NuGet push would be good. Okay, Greg, thank you. I'll give you access so you can publish to Gregory if you want. You'll be able to publish these NuGet packages. So now if I kind of do a multiple iteration, so for integer I is 0 and I is is less than 10 and I is incremental like this. I wonder, I print that out, console dot write line um, names. So I'm hoping that it actually shuffles
in
because this,
place.
yeah, apparently. I hope that that's the case, which is also a terrible API, by the way. Like I would expect this to return that shuffled list back to me instead of shuffling the
Yeah,
actual reference. I don't know how it works. That's why we're playing with it. We don't know anything. So, so we need to also, um, I guess I just need to do like string join, right? And here is a comma, and here is your names. Let's do it
it
this way.
does actually does it in place based on the API documentation.
That's terrible. So look, it didn't shuffle anything for me. What am I doing wrong? So do I need to define an actual array? Hold on. That's probably it. So string shuffled equal names dot array. And then I need to just put this as shuffled. That's a terrible API. I don't like it. Nope, nothing. How did you use it? Greg, how did they use it?
No, no, you
What's
need to
the
change. You need to change. You need to change names with shuffled at the
Oh yeah,
last
that's
line,
right.
right
Yeah, that's
line.
right. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, there you go. So, so you basically take your list, create .to array. It'll give you a different reference, I hope, and then you basically just run the rand. Yeah, I can get behind this. I can go and say, okay, this is literally saying shuffle. It would be nice if you just made the if they just made the iNumeral itself has a shuffle capability in it. That would be nice, but I guess that works too. Okay.
It's not
Uh,
actually a new reference. It will be in place shuffle based on the documentation. In place.
so if I took names and tried to print them, well, I tried that, right? I tried to do name shuffle on the names. It didn't do anything for me.
But to array creates something new, right?
That's
To
what I'm
array
thinking.
itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I guess this
Ah,
is
okay.
not a too bad implementation. I guess that's much better in terms of implementation. I could get behind that. Um, I guess that's a good precursor just for us to um, to upgrade to .NET 8, right? Um, I wonder now I'm just wondering, we could be mistaken. There could be like a shuffle option in here, no? Array, or maybe not there yet. Should I create a pull request? It says just make it as part of the API. I guess I could do that. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to the Visual Studio here. We're almost done. Okay, so we're about 95, 96%. Seriously, a 13K Intel processor. Come on, man, come on. Here we go. Is it already installed on your side, guys? You already have it?
I'm 50%.
Okay,
So it is taking time.
okay, it's gonna take a while.
But interesting, this like method will be needed a lot in the upcoming tests where the columns are involved and
Right, exactly.
you know.
We're gonna need something like this a lot, and I think if we just create a private method on the test itself that says shuffle, do you have these changes pushed already or no? Do you know?
No, I can push them now if you want, but I because we will change them, I can wait as well.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna try, like if I open the solution here, I already changed both of them to .NET 8, so I hope that works this time. We'll see. Based on your solution, you might need to install extra components. What? No, I don't. What are these guys talking about? Let's rebuild again and see. The current Visual Studio version does not support targeting .NET 8. Yes, you do, unless I need to install the preview version of Visual Studio. I think that's what it is. Oh my God. Okay. Um, Additional preview. I think that's what it is, Omar, because or enterprise, whatever works for you. I think
What was Visual Studio this attached to the .NET version you have? Like before with .NET Framework, I don't recall like having to update Visual Studio every time I get a new .NET Framework version.
that's their new thing. I guess that's how they're doing things these days. Um, so I have this guy in here. I guess that's what yeah, I remember this. I remember you had to use the preview version. So Visual Studio Professional 2022 preview, right? The one that I just installed is 17.7. This is 17.8, right? And you had to install that. Ah, sucks. Okay, so usually I just use Maui.NET. I don't use Azure Development often, and maybe some data storage and processing. I don't have Hadoop for this. Visual Studio Enterprise already installed in this folder. You will need to choose a different folder, sure. Preview professional, maybe something like that. Yeah, so I'll have to install the professional version. The download part I'm not worried about, but the installation part is the part that takes most of the time. So anyway, the bottom line is what I'm trying to say is, um, I guess we're gonna have to install a preview version of this in order for this to get going. We've always been on the preview version of Visual Studio to actually get things running, because we're always living on the bleeding edge kind of version. So I guess you just have to install that. That's all. Sorry, my friend. Just another thing that you have to install. So okay, while this is installing, is it done on your side at least? Do you have it?
Not yet. Actually, I need to install the newest Visual Studio as well for this.
Oh, you mean the preview? Yeah.
The
So
preview, yeah.
you're probably gonna need to get the preview. Um, yeah, for that part. And then just remind me for us, we're shuffling a list of table information that has some nulls in it. Is that right?
We are shuffling a list of integers to find the random indices where we need to nullify, right?
Why don't we just create like a list of nulls and a list of actual objects and just merge them and shuffle them? Is that too much work? Is that more work than creating indices?
I think it will end up like mostly same lines of codes if we do that. We multiply the two lists as you mean, right? We kind of have nulls inserted, random null indices. You need to know the indices where they are, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. We need to know where they are. So that means you have to actually, yeah, you're right. Because based on the index for each and every one of these um, invalid objects, that's how we're going to print out the validation error. Is that right?
Correct.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, it's getting back to me now. I got it now. Okay, I'm almost done with this. If you want to push that code to me, it's gonna take a while on your side, I'm assuming. So if you want to push what you have to me, I could I could drive it a little bit from my side.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just do it now.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I totally forgot that the preview version of Visual Studio is the version that actually gets a um, gets um, the access or the ability to work with more recent options. That's true. That's exactly true. Okay, cool. I think maybe you can enable preview feature in tools. Yeah, I remember doing something like that as well. Thank you, Greg. I think that's the case too. If you guys are done with that, I think there's an option in here that basically says uh, preview, preview features, use previews of .NET. There you go. Thank you, Greg. That's it. So Omar, you don't really have to install the preview. You could just check that box. It should do it for you. The preview version of Visual Studio I'm going to use for something completely different. But now, if I open up Visual Studio 2022, if it's done installing on your side, and if you enable that option, let's just see. Thank you, Greg. That's absolutely just spot on suggestion right there. Thank you. So if I open this up, it should be able to build my projects again. I hope. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. It's building it just fine, or at least recognizing it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you don't have to install a preview version. This is it. You didn't stop the let me do this. I'll go to I will ignore these changes that I just made, and I will go to the main branch, and I will just push upgrade to version 8. You know what I mean? And we're just gonna need to sync up with main. That's all. Our master. Whatever branch we chose. So I'll just do that. So I'll reload the project everywhere. There you go. And I'll just gonna go ahead and upgrade everything to .NET 8. The good news about this is that every time they release a preview version, I don't have to specify that. I could, but I don't have to specify that. I could just say .NET 8 and it will know whatever version installed of .NET 8. That's pretty much what I want to get installed in there. There's .NET 8 here. There's .NET 8 here. It's also a good chance for me to kind of review what we have enabled and disabled in our configurations. So this one here, this is .NET 8. Of course, we can't do something like this with most of our existing stable libraries unless the release itself is stable. That part is important. Okay, did this pass? Generator library import what is that? Could not write object standard .NET standard process cannot do I have to run as a so cleaning up everything, rebuilding. Oh, you know also what we need? We need to also update our build. So our build have to target .NET 8. We can't do .NET version like that anymore. So I basically need to get that magic number from .NET 8, .NET 8. I need to go get that build number, which is this little guy right here. Preview 8100 preview, whatever, whatever. Right? And then I need to go back in here because the pipeline won't recognize it. The pipeline won't be able to work with that. So I'm just going to put that in here. I also think that I have to specify something that says include pre-release. And if you don't do that part, it just will assume that you're only looking for stable versions. So now if I run this guy here, let's see if I could set up a set up a startup project running that guy. It should generate something nice. Here's our .NET YAML. Here's the new version. Fantastic. And I could just create a new branch here, users, son, habib, configs, upgrade, .NET 8, .NET 8, configs, upgrade to .NET 8. Here's a push, and then we will just kind of pull into our branch whatever upgrade that I just made, and we should be good to go. So here we go. Let me go over here, upgrade .NET 8. And here's all my changes. Now let's just see if, let me create an issue for this real quick. Configs, upgrade to .NET 8 preview. I don't know if we have configs in here, do we? We should. Yeah, I think Greg kind of put them all in there. Okay, so closes, configs. Let's just see if the build will recognize them. It should. Technically, it should. I mean, the .NET is being built in GitHub itself, so it should be very straightforward this way. All right, Omar, what do you got? Visual Studio installed successfully on your side?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Actually, I was creating a div box because my Visual Studio is so slow. But
Oh,
it's
oh, is
taking
this
time. But
oh, is this the Azure Dev Box thing?
yeah, I'm using it at work and it's actually
Is it
amazing.
good?
It's very fast. Yeah,
Really? Azure Dev Box. Is it like a Windows machine or something?
it is. It is. Like you can get one with 128 gig of RAM or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the let's see, what's the pricing on this guy? See Dev Box pricing. You don't have to worry about pricing from your side though.
Uh, yeah, they give this Visual Studio benefits like a few hundred
Oh,
dollars a
really?
month, and you can use those against it actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So your 8 CPUs, 32 gigs of RAM, 138 monthly price. If you have 20, okay, if I go crazy, 32 cores, 128 gigs of, oh my lord, this is amazing. And this is pay as you go, right?
You can set it up to turn off when you need to, and uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a session about. I'll do a YouTube session about Microsoft DevBox. I know they've been talking about it for a while. It's pretty cool. Gregory says, "What a shuffle for a little shuffle." So look, it looks like the build worked, right? So we basically went and said, "I'm building on .NET 8," right? And it basically just the only thing that it gave us is just a bunch of warnings. So this works. I'm trying to say, right? That's pretty neat. So this is installing .NET. .NET install. Note that the intended use of this script is for continuous integration. Yeah. And restoring NuGet package and then building the project here. 8.0100 preview. There you go. You are using a preview version. Warning, warning. Okay, so I have this done. So here's configs upgrade to .NET 8. So now we're running on .NET 8, really are. And I'm going to go back to our branch here. So here is standard entity. I'm going to go back to our SQL. There you go. And I'm going to kind of rebuild, actually pull from main. So let me do this. Go back to main, pull latest, and then pull back from uh, yeah, so this is pulling back from main. This should work. And then if I go back to my SQL branch, I could just right click on main and say merge into current branch. I think Ailu showed me that kind of trick. And it said, hey, you have a bunch of conflicts. Automatically merge, don't care. Come on. There you go. And I can now rebuild. Yeah, I think we're all good here. I think we're good here. So I think I merged everything in, right? So the only thing left, did you already push that merge that you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay, let me now try that shuffle thing and see what happens. I guess that's what we're learning today. Shuffling. That's that's the whole moral of the story today. So I just wanna I really want to emphasize something. Like a lot of people will just say we already have a thing that works, just move on. But that's not the point of these sessions. The point here is to actually do things proper. You know, do our due diligence basically. So here it is, man. This is the unique random numbers, and you're basically saying shuffle this, but we still don't have the indices, do we? Well, you're gonna go check and see, right? So you're basically saying invalid, select table information index if unique random numbers contains index. Well, there will be no index no more, would it?
No, line 115, you will still
Mm-hmm.
need to change that to the new API. That's it, right?
No, I no, I understand, but just help me understand that part. You are um basically creating a range here. This is the invalid table information, and you're gonna have the count. So it's gonna create an exact amount based on the length of this guy, which is coming from here, right? And then you basically went in here and said random invalid items count.
So yeah, let's say we have 100 items. We want a random number of nulls. Let's say 5. This is the random number
Hmm.
of nulls, right?
Right. This is the random number of nulls. That's right.
Hmm.
So in here, you're basically going and saying create an enumerable range order by dot to list. So this is gonna give you a list of indices. Ah, I see what you're doing. Got it. Got it. Sorry. Brain is still okay. Let's do this magical thing. So let's go here and say let's shuffle things. So I'll go here and say um, private static um, list of table information, shuffle. And I'm expecting here a list of table information that will be passed in. And then I'm going to create an array here, table information, um, shuffled table information, and that's list to array. And then I'm guessing new random dot shuffle. There you go. And that's table information of the shuffle table information like that. I don't like this part, by the way. It's kind of gross. Um, so let's see here. So this is that, and then I could just go and say return shuffle table informations dot to list like that. I guess it doesn't need that generic because it's so smart. There you go.
Can we make this method generic enough to shuffle any list of things instead of just table informations?
We're gonna need to shuffle other things. Is
We
that what
need
it
to
is?
shuffle like a list of columns, right? Or a list of things, right?
Sure, we could do that. So here's a T. Yeah, that's it. I really still think this is gross though. New random, whatever. Is there like a way to just say shuffle like a normal person? Yeah, there you go. There you go. What do you think about that?
You just use the singleton maybe there or something.
Whatever. That's much cleaner to me
Yeah.
than doing a new whatever. Because you see, it's stateless, right? Like, why are you instantiating a new instance? It's
Yeah.
stateless. You're just passing a stateful input, and you're basically going and saying, do something with it. I don't want you to store or maintain anything.
But as you said, like why a random generator should worry about shuffling? It's a collection method. It's not a
It,
random method.
it's a good series of bad decisions. Look, just despite the fact that I've been working with the .NET framework since 2002, 2003, somewhere there. So that's about 20 years, 20 good years that I'm putting into this. I think the .NET framework is has a good collection of bad decisions. And that's why, as a community, you weren't around when this conversation was happening, but we have this huge thing, Omar, called SFAL. SFAL is basically called Standardized Framework Abstraction Library. And what SFAL does, it basically goes and says, I don't want to rely on the .NET framework. I want to build my own standard compliant framework that I build my domain systems on top of. There's a whole bunch of discussions around that, right? Why are we doing this? Because I think that some of the decisions that were made here are just sometimes at night I just look at it and be like, how did I survive using you all these years? Just looking at the framework and just talking to it. But but other than that, I think that I hope that works. I don't know. We'll see, right? So the thing about this also is that it's super randomized. So we're gonna have to kind of put a breakpoint and reiterate. We'll see. So here's the deal. So this is your range. I'm assuming you just want to do something like this, like this, right? And I need to define the type as well. So the type is integer, like that. And this enumerable is giving me what? This range is sending back out. Why don't I just do it as an IEnumerable like a normal person? So I could just go say IEnumerable and keep that guy also as well, IEnumerable. And maybe we don't have to return that at all. So that's that. And then if I go back here, I don't have to do that guy anymore because, life is easy. Why make it hard? Right? And here's the list like that. There you go. What do you think about that approach?
Seems good. Seems good.
At least it's readable. At least.
Yeah, it is. It is. We know what's going on.
At least we know what's going on. I'm not super sold on this piece, but at least we know what's going on, right? Okay, and then let's see if it actually works. That's the real question, though. So if I put this here and do Control RT, let's see if this actually holds any water. It looks like it should work. I don't know if it will work. These are two completely different things. So, okay, so the first unique random items is basically, it's giving me a count of 1. Cool. And the list that it generated should always be the same from 0 to 6, right? So if I go back here, if I'm not mistaken, and well, the random items count also needs to be regenerated, isn't it? So if I go back in time here and go like this, yeah, I could stick with 3 and keep iterating. So with 3, I have it picked up 2, 3, and 1. Okay, what if I go back here and do it again? It picked up 3, 2, and 4. Good, it works. If I go back here again, it picked up 0, 1, and 4. So yeah, this method works. We know that for now, right? We could deliver half-baked solution in a minute, or we could go the extra mile and spend an hour doing things right. And we all learn something in the process, right? It's a great thing, right? Okay, I'll just go here and say uh, code rub use shuffle, random shuffle. And let's continue the rest of this discussion tomorrow. What do you think about that? Does that sound like a good deal? I hogged the keyboard today, so I'm not going to touch it tomorrow. You guys going to have to do it yourselves. You know what I mean? But we could continue going in that direction, Omar. I think that's a good direction. You see, when we were looking at this validation issue, looking at it holistically, it's horrible, it's scary. But if you start breaking it one at a time, even if we take every day one new test, I think we should be okay. Kailu, do you have .NET 8 on your side? All good?
Yeah, took me like 40 minutes for the whole thing.
All right, guys, let's connect tomorrow. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.